Hello, my cross-stitch friends. Welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda Mae, and this is my channel, Ardith Design, where we celebrate sustainable stitching, count and cross-stitch, and making all the things. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you are returning, I am so happy you came back to spend some time with me this week. We are in my library. I had to put the pugs away because they were wanting to bark at all the cars going by, so no pugs to see today. I have some Valentine's Day finishes to show you. And then I thought that because several of you are new to my channel, I surpassed 3,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. Many of you haven't seen my book, Stitching Love and Kindness, and all of my Valentine's Day goodies, so I thought I would show that little book. And then there'll be a giveaway keyword later if you would like to win the book. And I can send you either a signed copy and send it off to you, or just send you a regular book, your choice. As a thank you, all of you, thank you for helping me grow my channel to 3,000 subscribers. I was trying to explain to somebody that 3,000 is a lot in a micro niche like cross stitch, and that I am just so grateful. And so thank you all so much. So like I said, I have 2 FFOs, which means fully finished objects, to show you. One of them is cross stitch. Another one is like felt sewing-ish. I'll show you some of the small projects that are in my book, Stitching Love and Kindness. And I'll show you, I got haul this week. Yes, I did. I have haul, and I worked on 2 projects, and I would love to show you the progress on those. So let's get started, and we'll talk all things cross stitch and making all the things. First things first. Should I do FFO things? Oh, we'll wait on those. I'll let you side glance them. And I'll show you some of my works in progress, or whips. I started the ink circles badger, and it's called Badgers from the Dawn of Memes. I don't know if any of you have followed up and looked up that video on YouTube. It's like a decade old, you know, like over millions and millions of views. This is by Ink Circles, Tracy Horner, and she is very, the word I can think is brilliant. She's just, I really like her style, her sense of humor, her mandalas that she does. I think she's really cool. So here we go. So I said last video that I'm an upper right hand starter. I stitch in hand. Very, very rarely do I stitch in a hoop or on a roller frame or on a scroll rod frame, and that's if I'm doing something fancy or over one stitching. I don't try to do over one in hand. So I got a little bit more done. I got the mushroom and the 2 trees, and I started adding the purple, and then down in here is going to be the snake. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom. So the snake is there, and it's in purple and red. So he is going to be vibrant, vibrant snake. So I'm excited to have worked on this a little bit more. I am stitching it with DMC and then an unknown Silks for You purple. And I'm using 2 strands over 2 threads. And I love it. So that was my first project I worked on this week. The second project I worked on is a rescued piece. It was an abandoned project, and I bought it online on eBay, and I could see kind of in the distance the sampler. It is from this magazine, Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. I had this magazine already in my stash, and it is the September-October 1988 edition of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, and it is the cow sampler. As you can see there, it's got the custom mat, the blue matting where it was literally cut there. I will not be finishing it in a mat. I don't know how I'm gonna be finishing it, but anyway, I'm excited. And the reason I had the magazine, before I show you what I've done, I'll tell you this. I had the magazine not for the cow, but there's this special feature in this issue all about doll houses and dollhouse miniatures, like the miniature sampler and the pillows, and there's even like a coverlet and the tree skirt for, so here's the bed, the coverlet, samplers, and then even the little tree skirt. So that's why I had this back issue of the magazine. But you know, a couple years later, all of a sudden, the cows are calling. And so I saw that it was partially completed. I purchased it. It did not come with the pattern. Thank goodness I had it. It did not come with the floss to finish it. I sent my husband to Michael's and he got me the replacements. And then I have done a bunch of stitching on this, but I've technically never shown you where I started. So you might be like, I rewatched Avenue 5 on, is it HBO Max, with Hugh Laurie. He is so funny. And I was working on this. So I had to add the purple sky on several spots, and I'm still working. And then there's like just some random pieces like right here under the udder. And there's all the back stitching needs to be done, and some of the letters here. So the C here, and it's long, and then there's a back stitch OW for cow. And then the moo for MOO. And then there's also the T for tail, and the tail, that is upside down. So I'll have the tail here, and then cow, and then the OO, and then I need to fill in the cheeks for the moon and stars. So that's like a pink color, and then the back stitches on the faces. What I really like about this piece is the purple sky. My favorite sky is the pink sky, purple sky, you know, at dusk or dawn, the colors. That's my favorite. My puffin that I did up here for Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, the puffin is against a pink sky. So seeing the purple sky and the pink, I just loved it. So I want to finish it. I think it will probably most likely be made into a project bag. That's my thought. I got this and it had no odor. I did not wash it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish stitching it, and then I'm gonna give it a bath where you put it in the water and pull it up with tepid water with Blue Dawn dish soap. Then rinse it clear, and then put it on the white towel on both sides, and then roll it. You never twist your work. You roll it and then lay it out flat to dry. So that is my plan to clean the piece before I do anything else with it. And like I said, I've added, it's mostly all the pinks and the purples and stuff. This right here is 3 different shades of the red that I need to pull from my bobbinated stash. And this is a 14 count white Aida. I did the edges around. I didn't have to cut any fabric, and yeah, so that's my abandoned or saved the stitches piece. I saw it, apparently I felt that I needed to stitch it, and here we are. I think I convinced myself because I knew I had the magazine issue, so the fact that it was not done and it didn't have the pattern, that didn't deter me because I already had the pattern. It was like playing matchmaker. Okay. So those are the 2 projects I worked on this week. I got some haul. I am on Angela's Color and Cotton. She has a Facebook group, and I am a fan of her work. And I occasionally see her pop-up posts that say like, oh, I'm selling this or I'm selling that. And if you're not purchased within 10 minutes, it's usually all sold out. For some serendipitous reason, I was online at the time that she posted that she had some miscellaneous mystery grab bags, thread grab bags available. So I saw it immediately and I impulse purchased 2 mystery grab thread bags from her. And so they arrived. And so I just love them so much. So it's nice to add some colors to my personal thread collection. And what I did is I already went through and I wrote on the back of them that these are my threads. They're not my professional, these are not my model stitching threads. So I went through and wrote on the back of them personal, that these are part of my personal stash. So my husband thought this one was his favorite, and it's called Tutti Frutti. So we have Tutti Frutti, Cherry Blossom. My dogs are snoring if you hear that in the background. This is Radish. I really like Radish. Kaleidoscope is this color here. I have an idea for that, so I'm gonna set Kaleidoscope aside for a minute and I'll show you what I'm thinking about. And this is Aura. When I saw Aura and it's purple, there's a movie, it's called Almost Famous. It is a Cameron Crowe film, and it's got Zooey Deschanel in it. It's got Kate Hudson, Billy Crudup. It was one of my favorite films. I still want to say it's one of my favorite films about music. And anyway, the young kid goes on the road, and he's a freelance journalist with the Rolling Stone, but he's only 15 years old. And he's like traveling with the band, but like gets put in with all the groupies and they're, you know, fans or whatever. And one of the fans, he's like on his phone, on his phone, not cell phone, but on his, on the pay phone, because it's based in the 70s, calling his mom, who is Frances McDormand, her character. And so he's trying to talk to his mother. And this lady comes and she's like, I'm gonna stay in your room tonight. Your aura, it's purple. It's purple, your aura is purple. And he's on the phone and his mom is saying, I love you, son. And he goes, what? And she's going, purple, your aura is purple. What? Anyway, Almost Famous. If you haven't seen it, if you like music, it's a really cool film. So purple aura. I'm wondering if Angela is an Almost Famous fan. That was my long tangent about that. Okay, the next colors that we have is Limoncello. Gorgeous. I love Limoncello. Oh, more Kaleidoscope. Awesome. I didn't realize I got a second one. Oh, darn. More beautiful thread. Locomotive. It's like a steel with like a blue, gray, purple. That's cool. Garnet. That's really pretty. Very good for Valentine stitching. And then Deep Sea. So those are my threads and I love them. Color and Cotton. All right. Should we show? We'll talk about my book. Yeah. Okay. I have everything like stacked up. All right. This is the book that I published a little more than a year ago. It's called Stitching, Love, and Kindness, and it has 14 projects, needlework projects in it. It's got punch needle embroidery, it has sewing, it has cross stitch. And what I did is I have a vintage historic Love and Virtue sampler, and so I recharted that. Then I created an adaptation sampler, which is on my wall. I didn't grab it. It's called Love, Kindness, and Empathy, and it's an adaptation based on the antique sampler. And so my book is all in color, and here's some of the projects. So I wanted to show you. And then, so if you would like to win this book, I would love for you to comment and somewhere in your comment, say the word flower, F-L-O-W-E-R, flower, and that will be the keyword that I search for. Please be over 18. Please be a subscriber. I do check that, and the keyword flower if you would like to win a copy of this book. So I'm going to show you just a couple of the little projects that I have that I'm actually going to start decorating and putting out. So I wanted to bring them. The first one of the projects is this bag, and it's a fabric bag, and I give directions on how to make it. It's an envelope, and then you can stitch this. I stitched it on 14 count Aida, and then it matches up here, and then size 8 beads. And inside is the custom needle book and the fabric panel. So if you order the fabric panel online on Spoonflower, you order it and it's in a tea towel size. So you order it in a linen cotton blend, and it as a fat quarter, and it comes out. And then you also have the fabric for the needle book. And so I have the needle book here, and here is my fabric, and this fabric will show again in some of my other finishes. So this is my custom fabric that I made in the wool needle book, and I have directions in here how to make it. The next project is, where did I put it? I have Tidbits of Affection. It's inside my book here, not in my book, box. Tidbits of Affection. So little trinkets and stuff that you could put in your box. Little like movie ticket stubs, you know, back when we went to the movies. Little charms, or the rings that, you know, your fingers have gotten a little too large, they don't fit anymore, can go in there. Look, here's one of my little tidbits. That's me as the ex-girlfriend. Oh, but wait, there's more. Oh, what do I have here? Oh, this is the little punch needle brooch that I made. This is not in my book. I made this brooch when I went to a stitch along last year, and this is the time I met Liz Matthews, and it was at the Stitching Post in Baltimore, and it was in, I want to say it was mid-January, and I had a hard time. It was my first ever stitch along, or like where you meet up and stitch with people in real life, and I could not count my stitches and talk, so I ended up pulling out my punch needle, and that's what I ended up making. And necklace. I forgot all about some of this stuff. Okay, so from the book, Sealed with a Kiss, and I put this on a miniature mailbox that I have. So this pattern is in the book, Sealed with a Kiss. It's on 14 count Aida, and this is stitched with DMC. The next one is the Lovebirds, and you can make this into like a coupon ticket love, or you can put this around a spool, a decorative spool. And this is created with the variegated DMC. I stitched it on 18 or 6, it's 16 or 18 count oatmeal Aida. Look at that, a whole year and I forgot what I've done. Fiddler's cloth, there we go. I think it's 16 count fiddler's cloth. All right, this is on one of the little wooden boards made by Not Forgotten Farm. And I know that Kitten Stitcher sells these little boards, and so does Not Forgotten Farm. And this is a bouquet of flowers, and that's all in punch needle embroidery on the backing board there. This would be super fun if you like miniatures. You could stitch this real size and then make this into like a framed art for your dollhouse or as a rug. Just saying. Here is my over one piece on another one of the Not Forgotten Farm backs. I stitched this over one and it's on a black 32 count fabric. You do not have to do it on a black 32 count fabric. And this is part of a motif, a sunflower. And I love it. The next one is a punch needle embroidery piece, and it's on just one of those basic wooden heart ornaments, and it says love you, and I attached it. Then what else do we have? Oh, Love Pug is also in the book. Little Love Pug. This is charted all in DMC. And then we have the little gnome, and she is just ready to be hung. I put her on a sandwiched pieces of wooden rounds from a Maryland tree that fell that was cut. So, and that's my little love gnome. So those are some of the small projects that are featured in the book. I did not grab the sampler, I'm sorry. Whoopsie daisy. So I have all of these goodies to put out on for display. Like I said, it has the magnet on the back, and it's one of those piggy banks, but it's metal and it's shaped like a post office box, mailbox. And then, oh, I've been hanging these on my trees, my Valentine themed trees, and that's been fun, all the little doilies. So those are my projects. Again, if you would like the book, just say flower. Okay, my next piece, what am I gonna show you? Okay, how about, since we're talking about Valentine's Day, let's show my finish. Oh my gosh, I love this. I'm gonna have a drink of sparkling water. I grabbed the magazine that this came in. The magazine is Cross Stitch and Needlework, and this is the project. Here's my heart and there's the key. This is how it's supposed to look with the heart and everything. It is by Kathy and Teresa, and this is when they had Cherrywood Design Studios. So my finish, I'm so happy, is here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. The backing fabric, it's like a vintage Valentine fabric. And I am going to add some, like a bow or something to help me to hang this a little better. I finished this as a mini wall hanging, and on each side I hung ribbon, and these are keys from a piano keys. I'm gonna take, so they're flanking on either side, the piano keys, but I'm gonna just take them off just to talk to you about this. Okay, I have all the piano keys. I was thinking about making them and hanging them with another project. I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so here we go. I just have just a regular dowel, nothing fancy. These clips I got like a set of 40 of them, and I quilted this. I went around the binding, and I used one of the Polystar to have that, like the glitter shimmer, like the glitter on the stars. I had this piece of fabric and it matched this so beautifully. I did not dye this piece. This is how it came. And I just kind of went with it and sewed this up. I didn't really have a pattern. Here is this. I said last week that I had made tons of mistakes, so you can kind of see the flower here. I made so many mistakes, and I finally just did some silk ribbon embroidery. I say that loosely because it's more like knotting a bunch of silk embroidery and making a mess. Anyway, let me take this off. And then the buttons, and then I added the beads are like a size 10 bead, and I just used pink. It's not focusing well. I just used pink to sew them down. This was gonna be a big disaster filled with mistakes, and I thought, I'm just gonna own it. I'm gonna add the bows, buttons, and beads, and just embrace the floss. So here we go, and I love it. I had considered hanging some actual physical keys on it, but I thought I would do piano keys instead. So this is the finish. And I got these two little things I'm gonna show you. So pause from cross stitch really fast. I watched the most amazing movie. I wanna say it's one of my favorite Disney films right now. And that's saying a lot because Incredibles has been my favorite, well, since it came out, you know, over 10 years ago. But Soul, oh my, amazing, amazing movie. And so I got these, and they're just like McDonald's toys. I did not eat at McDonald's, I got them. Anyway, so here and here, this is Joe Gardner. He is the main protagonist. The story revolves around Joe, and it is awesome. So I was trying to think of something I could do with the piano keys because he plays the piano and the jazz. So I was trying to think of something to integrate Disney and piano and music stuff. And then look at this kaleidoscope, kind of reminds me of the colors from them, the iridescence. So anyway, I think these are so cool. I got to figure out how to display it. I thought about maybe putting them like in a dough bowl and then putting some piano keys just like stuck in like a bouquet. I don't know. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I mean, it even like mentions Carl Jung in the like consciousness and transcendence, and a lot of really heavy topics intermixed with jazz music, beautiful score, beautiful message. I was awesome. So yeah, it's one of my favorite films. Go see it or watch it on Disney Plus. Okay, back to cross stitch. Okay, I am so happy I have that as a finish. And then this is my second finish. It's not cross stitch, but it took me so long. I had this frame. I had the cardinal the mini quilt on here. I'd gotten it at a thrift store a couple years ago. So what I did is I saw how they attached this, the cardinal, and replicated it and measured and made a calendar. So my kids loved the advent calendar that they got to do, and they liked moving the days like every day and moving it. So they asked for something for January, and I said, well, can I make something for January and February? So it goes to 31. Yes, there are not 31 days in February, but they can use it both months. I remembered to put my name and date on there. And I did the back. I'd never done this before for the hanging. This took me over 50 hours to make, and I cannot believe how long it took. It took so long. So first of all, I tried to hand stitch, or I tried to machine stitch the numbers on. I don't have a fancy embroidery machine. I don't have anything. So I was trying to figure out how to hand move and make the felt numbers, which I failed at. And my son let me know how much I failed. He told me to put red puffy paint over them. So some of them have red puffy paint. The ugly numbers I did. And some of them don't. So very handmade. I cut them all out with my vintage pinking shears. The numbers are all wonky. Just everything. And then I tried gluing it down with Aleene's fabric glue, the hearts onto the squares here. Well, half of them didn't glue on, so then I had to go back through, and I want to say it was day 8, all of these started falling off the glue. So down, I decided I went through and stitched them all down. So there's a heart with there's pockets, heart pocket, and then pocket for the day. The ones that had fallen off, but I couldn't sew, I hand embroidered stitched down. When I say this is a labor of love, it's really a labor of love. And my kids are like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? We want the calendar. Where is it? Are you done yet? And then I had vintage stuff and pinking shears and sewed around and added a little bow. And here we are, our calendar for January, February. I don't know what to tell them if they ask for a March. I don't know. We'll see. So those are my 2 FFOs for this week. All right, the next bit I have to show you, well, I have one cross stitch haul. I'll show you that. So I impulse purchased some stuff. I made my first ever order with the Fat Quarter Shop. I've never placed an order with them before, and I decided to place an order. They had a flash sale on weird stuff hanging everywhere. I don't want to break it. They had like a flash sale on this, and I grabbed it. It is Birds of a Feather, and it's the Beware of Cat. And I love Birds of a Feather. I stitched the Halloween Witch last year, so I love this so much. So I had to get it. And because the chart couldn't travel alone, I ordered some quilting stuff. So if you are done, if you don't want to hear anything, I'm all done with cross stitch. So if you're all done, I can say toodaloo, sayonara, much love. But if you want to stick around and see my quilting fabric, I'm going to show that. Okay. My husband bought me these. They were on clearance. I sent him to Joann's Fabrics to get me some vinyl because I want to work on some more project bags, and these were on clearance. And he's so funny. He goes, I got this for you because it looks like you could cross stitch on it. I'm like, yeah. Oh my gosh. So this, it looks like banding. I didn't count to see if it's even weave or uneven weave. And then the checkered. And then here we go. I bought some fabric. I bought my first ever, I have never purchased one before, but I bought my first ever jelly roll. Is that what it's called? It's really pretty. And it's 100 years, sweet 16, and I liked it because it had kind of all the reds and the traditional colors. I don't know if you can see it. And then I got some charm packs. I got Homestead charm pack and Remix charm pack. And then I had been saving up my money, and I treated myself to this. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I got the charm pack Braveheart, and I requested on my library card, I requested a bunch of quilting books to learn how to use maybe some of the charm pack stuff with it. Figs and Shirtlings. This looked really cool. I really liked this collection. La Rose Rouge by French General. And this looked really lovely. And then I got these two. They looked really fun. It is Charm Square by Robert Kaufman. It's called Hello, My Name Is, and it's like a country theme. This is the only one I've opened so far, but it's got like really cute things, you know. You gotta put a bird on it, and there's bees, and then it looks like cross stitch X's, so I got that. And then I got, because I love Easter, so I got this, and this is Riley Blake Designs. I've never purchased anything with Riley Blake before, and it's got all these little things. So I have stuff to make. So that's my haul from Fat Quarter Shop. Then I got the other 2 fabrics to participate in the Hoffman 2020 challenge. And so I got the fabrics at Patches Quilting, and it's co-sponsored by Aurifil. No affiliation. I'm not sponsored. I paid retail for all of this stuff. Okay, so it says you have to, each of these challenge fabrics must be used in the body of the quilt top or garment in recognizable but not necessarily equal amounts. A minimum of 3 out of the 6 following fabrics are required in your entry. So, and then there's all the different categories you can do. Award for mixed techniques quilts, accessories, clothing, pieced quilts, modern quilts, applique quilts. Best use of Aurifil thread. And I won a set of Aurifil thread from the Just CrossStitch 2019 ornament contest, and I have never used the thread. It's still just sitting, like languishing. They're on really pretty wooden spools. So I have the Aurifil thread, and I bought the 3 fabrics. I had originally just bought the one, not reading the rules, and this is called Big Sur, which I've always wanted to live, or I've always wanted to live in Big Sur in California. So anyway, this is so beautiful. I got that print, and then I got the other 2 for requirements. This is not my favorite, but I'll figure something out with it. It, to me, I don't know. I have to sit with it a little more. And then I got this one, and it's the red color, and it's this, I think it's called Spring. So I got this one and the other one are half yards, and then I got 1/3 of a yard of this one. And so I'm gotta figure out what I'm doing. I am new to quilting. I'm new to all of the things. I'm going to send in an entry. It's like $30, I guess, to submit an entry, but you get like a Close-A-May pin or something for participation. You know, like those, like people run virtual 5Ks and you get a t-shirt and it's like that. So I don't think I will win anything, but I thought it would be fun to participate in something. And I truly believe that you miss 100% of the shots you do not take. And with that, I will figure something out. Okay, the last little bit I wanted to just say before I say toodaloo is there's this really good children's book. I got it from the library, and it's called Animals Brag About Their Bottoms. Animals Brag About Their Bottoms. And it's gorgeous, gorgeous book about body positivity. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who have made comments to me. I hope you know, I believe that all bodies are good bodies. And when I have made comments about my weight and about gaining weight this last year, I don't mean that in a negative way. What do you expect when you lose your gallbladder, you stop nursing your kid, and you're put in quarantine, and you're a stress eater? Stuff's bound to happen, right? So I appreciate all of you, but I want to let you know that I truly believe that all bodies are good bodies, all of them. And this is a great message on body positivity, and I just wanted to share it with you. And with that, I want to thank you all for joining me this week. I hope that you have a beautiful week of stitching or creating, whatever that might entail for you, as long as you can find joy in what you do during these times. I hope that you are safe, that your family is safe, sending you lots of love and light and virtual kisses. Take care, my friends. Until next week.